You're speaking to the manager right now moment. You know, it might surprise you all to learn that despite just how many jobs I've had, and let me tell you, there is a pretty specific number that of how many of those there are. I've not really been a manager very often. I've been a department manager, essentially, and I've been a supervisor, but not a lot of times that I've really got to just break out the whole, you want to talk to a manager? I am the manager. I never got that opportunity, so I'll just live vicariously through these wonderful stories. Story 1. I used to be a cell phone tech in a retail store. We weren't employed by the main company, we were contracted through another company, so our manager hierarchy was separate. I was the only tech on one night, which made me the acting tech manager. I am a woman. A guy came in and was immediately belligerent, wanting his phone fixed, came up to the tech counter. The conversation went something like this. Me. How can I help you? Him. My phone is broken. I need to talk to the technician. Me. I'm the technician. What's wrong with your phone? Him. No, I need to talk to the tech out back. Me. I'm the only technician tonight. Him. No, I mean the guy in the back who fixes the phones. Me. I am the guy out back who fixes the phones. Him. Why won't you let me talk to the real technician? You can't fix this. Me. Open the window to the back to show him it's empty. I'm the only technician here tonight. What's going on with your phone? Him. You're being very rude right now. I want to talk to your manager. Me. My manager is not in right now. I'm the acting technical support manager. How can I help you? Him. I need to speak to someone above you right now. Me. There's nobody above me right now. You'll have to wait until tomorrow during daytime hours. Him. I don't have time for that. I work for a living. Me. So do I, as a technician. Him. I'm not leaving until I talk to someone. Me. I can get the store manager for you. Him. Yes, go get him. He will take care of me. How effing stupid can you get? That's what I've wanted. Me. Okay, I will go get the store manager. I did. She was also a woman. Him. Who's this? I wanted the store manager. Manager. I am the store manager, sir. Him. She won't let me talk to the technician. Pointing at me. Manager. She is the technician, sir. Him. Well, she can't fix my phone. Manager to me, could we not fix his phone? Me. He wouldn't tell me what's wrong with it. I don't know if we can fix it or not. Manager to him. What's wrong with the phone? Him, defeated at this point. It's not sending texts. It's defective. I need a new one. Manager. To me. Can we fix that? Me. Yes, it's a known issue with that model. It just needs a software update. Should only take 10 to 20 minutes. Him. Yeah, like software is going to do that. Me. Will you let me try it? Him. Okay, fine, try it. But when it doesn't work, I want a new phone. Me. Updated the software. It worked. Okay, it's been updated successfully, and I backed up your contacts and photos, so they're all still there. I tested the texting, and it's working now. Is there anything else I can help you with? Him. Took you long enough, and you're very rude. Me. Okay. This is just bringing me back to my days of working in electronics and selling cell phones at Walmart. And so I'm going to have a very calm and respectful response to this man. I hope he got hit by a bus on his way out the store. And I hope it was like, oh no, did we do? And they backed up and it hit him again. What a... Oh, I don't actually wish that, obviously, but I just can't stand people like that. And like, when I worked in electronics, I had female coworkers, or multiple female coworkers. And there were definitely areas in electronics where they knew more than me, but guys would like not want to talk to them and demand to speak to me. And I'd be like, yeah, she's the expert in the department. Frickin', I cannot wait for outdated Neolithic ding-dongs like this to go the way of the dinosaurs. Cripes almighty, I'm mad. Oh, man. Story 2. Maybe too late. Here it goes. I worked as a resident director, aka the boss of the building, for my university. Despite being in my 20s, I looked barely out of high school. Move-in day for all the freshmen. The usual stuff happens, crying parents and students, people trying to move in items that are not allowed, a generally crazy day. Nothing unusual yet. Cue to a mom with the typical, "Can I speak to your manager" body language and haircut? She walks up to my staff member and demands another room for her child. The mom yells, insults my staff. Finally, she is screaming for a manager. I walk up and introduce myself and ask for her to tell me what's going on. The mom cannot believe her eyes. Me, this young man, was the manager. She insisted on getting the real manager. I pulled out my wallet and gave her my card with my name and title clearly printed and informed her that I was the real manager. She continued to huff and puff until she ran out of steam. Hours later, I got a knock on my door, and it is the mom. She apologized for her behavior and explained it was stressful moving their child away from home. Emotions got the best of her and thanked me for treating her with respect, despite her not showing the same. I gotta give a little round of applause to that mom, because she recognized that she was in the wrong and she actually was able to, go and apologize and stuff. Because I think we all have made mistakes like that at some point or another, but it is the mark of an actual good person, a good human being, to recognize when you've made a mistake and try to make amends. So, yeah, you know what? I get it. It was stressful, you're going through a lot, and you realize you messed up. So, good on you, OP, for staying calm and reasonable, and good on that mom. Story 3. When I was 19, I was promoted to manager of the front of the house in this little seafood place I'd been working at since I was about 15. On the BOH manager's day off, I'd be the only manager there. This woman used to come in and order the clam chowder about once a week, eat it all, and then claim it was made differently than the last time and demand that it be comped. For some reason, the previous manager always just did it, but it annoyed me that she was being rewarded for being dishonest since we had the same recipe and followed it exactly since the place had opened. I was just waiting for her butt to try it on me, and finally, she did. I was the only manager there that day, and sure enough, one of the waitresses said she needed a comp for a table, and there was the cheap butt. I went over there and she told me, "Last time you had all kinds of vegetables in this chowder. I'm not paying for it." I was like, "Ma'am, we've been making that chowder the same way since the place opened, and you know it as well as I do. So you can either pay for it like a decent person, or I can comp it, and you are not welcome here ever again." Cue her demanding to see the manager. I nearly burst out in an evil villain-style cackle when I informed her that she was looking at the manager. She tried to argue for a couple minutes and then finally gave up, paid, and never came back. Oh my God. For people who have worked in restaurants or with customers like this, what you just wrote, OP, it's like the little, I never thought it'd happen to me letters from, what was the magazine? Hustler? Is that the one? The booby mags. I don't know, but reading this was immensely satisfying. Good on you. And next time, just let that evil villainous cackle out. Just... Story 4. A salesman walks into the reception area where I happen to be. I asked him if I can help him, and he barely acknowledges my existence. A few more attempts, and he says he wants to talk to someone more senior. At that moment, one of the staff members who is older than me. The salesman immediately tries to flag him down and asks to speak to someone in charge. He points at me and says, "Well, the owner's standing right there." I love that. I'm the youngest person who works in my main office. I also happen to be the GM and part owner of the company. Had someone come in talking to one of the employees who's been here 28 years. This guy has a conniption about a warranty issue and asks for a manager. My guy comes and gets me, and I go out there to ask, "How can I help?" Guy says he needs a manager. "Sir, I am the manager." "Then I need the owner." "I'm also the owner. What can I do for you?" I don't believe you. Okay then. Employee, we're denying that warranty request. I'll let his management know what happened. Story 5. 10 years ago, I was a retail manager for Bath & Body Works. One day during a holiday, a customer began going off on one of my seasonal employees, like psychotically screaming at her because we were out of peppermint twist body lotion. I walked up and asked the girl to go cover registers, and then I would talk to the customer. Customer begins yelling at me. After another 5 minutes of insisting it was in the back, her, I want to speak to your manager. Me, miss, I am the manager on duty. This is a popular item. We have none of it in the back. None of our other stores in the area have any more. You're welcome to look online, but I doubt it's there anymore either. Have a lovely day. She turned purple and asked for our customer service number to complain. It was December 24th. Folks, if you're going to go out shopping on Christmas Eve or Black Friday or any of those days that are just wildly busy, you need to just accept that things are going to be sold out and you need to calm down. I know that you're stressed because you're shopping at a super stressful time, but you don't get to take it out on the store employees. And if you do, then you deserve whatever happens to you. Story 6. I was invited to a birthday party at a remote acquaintance's place. She introduced me to her husband and tried to start a conversation by saying, "You two work in the same field." So the husband started to talk about his work while I asked polite questions. Then he started to badmouth a competitor of the place he worked at. He would claim there was something shady about the company, how they would scam customers and cannot be trusted. First I asked where he got his apparent insider knowledge from. When he couldn't name a source, I looked at him and said, "No problem, buddy. Just take the opportunity to ask anything you'd like to fact check as you're currently talking to the owner of the company." The conversations around us literally stopped and a very awkward silence followed, which I ended by politely saying goodbye. Story 7. Back when I was in the Air Force, there was a base picnic. I was put on the crew to get things set up. This task was finished and we were just standing around BSing, waiting for people to show up. A young-looking guy, turns out he was in his 40s, but legitimately looked 25, walked up and starts talking to us. He introduced himself as the new Operations Group Commander and was a Colonel Select. He literally arrived on base that very morning and heard about the picnic. A couple minutes later, our boss, a major, shows up and walks over to us. He says, "Hey guys, I think the new OG might be here today. Be on your best behavior because I heard he's a real a-hole." We all stared at him in horror. The OG just smiled, stuck out his hand, and said, "Hi, I'm the a-hole, but you can call me Colonel." I said to shoot across her nose, not up it. Who the heck is this guy? He's an a-hole, sir. I know that, but what's his name? That is his name, sir. Private a-hole. Well, who gave him a job like this, you know? Me, sir. He's my cousin. Well, who the heck are you? Oh, I'm an a-hole too, sir. I don't remember the whole thing, but if you know the reference, then high five. Story 8. Friend of mine. She was getting chewed out over something or other. Finally, the woman loudly demanded to see the manager. She shrugged and got the manager. Manager comes out all confused. Angry woman demands that my friend get fired. Manager is very confused. "But ma'am, I can't do that. She's the owner." Story 9. Customer was getting all cranky about a coupon. Cashier called me over. Normally, I just let it slide and accept the coupon, but then she had the audacity to insult my cashier, claiming she was incompetent. So I denied it, 'cause F this lady. She got all peed and demanded to talk to the manager. "Sorry, the manager left for the day, but the supervisor is here." "Well then, I want to speak to your supervisor," she hissed. "I am the supervisor," I said. "This coupon is not valid." "Fine." She huffed and left her stuff at the counter, muttering about never shopping there again. Cashier was a bit shaken up, but I'm not very good at consoling, so I just said, "F her, we don't need her." Story 10. I got a parking ticket a few months ago. When I was waiting in line to pay it, I started talking to the lady next to me. Apparently, she got fined under a new ordinance for keeping her work van parked in the street for a month. She was ranting and raving about how the city has become Nazi Germany because of laws like this. "Those city councilors are bastards. How dare they?" I quietly listened and nodded. Well, I'm on the city council and I helped write that ordinance. We have it in place because people like her keep their cars in front of people's driveways and make it impossible for them to pull out in the morning. When I went to the cashier and was greeted with, "Good morning, counselor," her jaw nearly dropped. Story 11. Not the manager, but a woman called the store I, 20 years old at the time, worked at, and I answered the phone. Me. Store name, Ravens Ray speaking. Her. I need to speak to an adult. Me. Hold on, let me grab one. Hello, Ravens Ray speaking. She was not amused, but my manager was. This is the sass that I enjoy seeing. I did this but in person at my old job. The customer asked for an adult to take his order. I walked around the corner and came back repeating my greeting that I do with all customers. I look 15, but I'm 19. Having a baby face sucks sometimes. What is with that one particular generation? An older generation, let's say, a booming generation, where when they're dealing with someone younger at a store, they just give them absolutely no respect whatsoever. God, it's too bad that nobody ever taught them how to be respectful and kind, and that's not a value that they seem to enjoy seeing in other people. Story 12. A friend of mine will occasionally walk into the back of the store when asked to speak to a manager, then walk right back up to them and ask how he can help. He should change hats and insist he's a different person. Story 13. I used to do security patrols on banks, had a large BMW bike. Some F-wit cut me off one day, nearly causing an accident. I gave him the finger over the screen and let it go. 10 minutes later, I'm getting off my bike to go to one of my banks, and the same F-wit in a suit comes screaming across the car park, yelling insults with, "Do you know who I am?" Me. Nope. Yawn. Him. "I'm so-and-so, area manager of Australian supermarket," i.e. he was manager of maybe 30 stores. Me. Righto, mate. And whatever. I don't care. Look at my face, which seems to irritate him even more. Him. "I demand to talk to your manager." I give him my business card, which he calls. I answer with, "Yeah, mate, what's up?" while staring right at him. Cue ranting expletives as he storms off. Story 14. I had someone pick a fight with me in a meeting, and I asked him, "Are you really sure you want to do this?" He said yes, because he thought I needed to be put in my place. It was a technical matter in which I am considered an expert, so I calmly listened to him and systematically shredded his arguments. He was older than I am, and I thought his head would explode when he realized that I had him completely cornered at every point he tried to make. I couldn't tell him at the time because I hadn't yet been officially released, but a new organization chart was supposed to be released the next day. The next morning, I called a meeting and showed the chart, and the fellow immediately slumped into his chair when he realized he would be reporting to me. Postscript. He had a chip on his shoulder for several months, and initially he seemed to think that I had it in for him, but I'm not a vindictive person, and I earned his respect when I later on bailed him out of a sticky situation. I told him, "You report to me, but I work for you. It's my job to look out for your interests, and I'm more than happy to watch your back." I mean, first off, OP, good on you for being the bigger person, and being respectful and all that stuff. I mean, in the end, you were really civil about it and stuff. But also, can I just say to all the people in the working world, if you don't know much about technology, stop arguing with the people who are experts about technology, especially when you absolutely don't know, okay? Just stop it. They have power over you. They are in control, and you just need to let it go and stop making their lives difficult and making your life difficult in the long run. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.